Hello, this is the Forex Market Preview and International Economic Data Roadmap for the week beginning Sunday, the 24th of November, ending in Friday, the 29th, and that will be the end of November. This is going to be a holiday shortened week with the Thanksgiving holiday here in the U.S. on Thursday, which means a couple of things for our trading before we get started looking at the charts and the economic data. First of all, U.S. markets are closed across the board on Thursday for Thanksgiving. We will have no calls for Forex Wednesday night going into Thursday, although we will produce the Forex levels. On Thursday going into Friday, we will again produce the levels. It will probably be based on very limited action and narrow ranges, but we will likely, unless there's no setups, likely make calls for Thursday night going into Friday, as there's often a move on that date. We've seen it several years in the past. So we will at least make calls for that. So it's the first 3 days of the week. But remember, people start to trickle out Wednesday, head out for the long weekend. This is the big break everybody gets as we enter the holidays. So now let's take a look at the dollar index daily chart. You can see the nothing new really happened this week, and we're still sitting mid-range for the last couple months, mid-range for most of the year at the 80 area on the dollar index. Let's take a look now at the euro dollar daily chart. Sorry, wrong one. There you go. Same thing here. You can see the static trend lines that are in play right now, and the last 9-bar move up was the high. That's about it. If we take a look at the pound dollar, looks like a potential breakout, but I should point out we had a 13 seeker sell signal back here that led to a drop on the pound, but if we were to overlay the Comer signal here as well, you get a 12 right here. That's the pink number. So a new high will give you a 13 sell signal from the Comer's perspective on the pound, something to be aware of. So overall, I think we're still looking at more strength in the dollar than weakness in the dollar. And here's the Aussie heading lower, which again is for strength in the dollar. And now it's broken. It's got a nice, this was a head and shoulder formation, breaking under that static trend line. All right, let's look at the intra-week action. This is 30-minute bars on the euro dollar from last Sunday's open till Friday's close. Total range for the week, only 180 pips or so, and some of that was on spikes. So really most of it in 160, 150, 140 pips range. That's horrible. Felt like a poor week. We had a lot of trades where literally triggered, nothing happened for 12 hours, and we ended up closing them out right where they entered because it was just so slow. And that's what this shows us. Nothing really happened. Now here's the pound. A little more action on Friday, but the rest of the week was incredibly contained. Matter of fact, the first half of the week was in about a 60 to 80 pip range on the pound, and we did get a move on Thursday night going into Friday, and then we flattened out there as well. So nothing really exciting. And then here's the Aussie dollar, which did have sort of a bigger move for those that were trading the Aussie this week. So that's where we're at from the market's perspective. Again, it's a very limited week, but sometimes we've seen times where we get big moves coming out of that Thanksgiving. Matter of fact, a couple years back, it was the beginning of a big move in the market and a huge 300 or 400 pip jump that started Thanksgiving evening. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen this year, but certainly we need to be aware of it and get our orders out there for something just in case. And then whether we can start to finally pick up and get the ranges going in Forex remains to be seen. I'm still half size because of these horrible ranges. I mean, it's for every big winner we get, you end up with a couple of days where just nothing happens, and that's not what leads me to excitement in the Forex market. So, all right, let's take a look at the economic data coming out this week. Nothing on Sunday. Jump to Monday. We've got employment level early Monday out of Switzerland, pending home sales out of the U.S. We've got the CSPI and the minutes from the last Bank of Japan meeting, 6:50 p.m. Eastern Time Monday night here in the U.S. Tuesday, we've got inflation reports, nationwide HPI out of the U.K., and then housing starts and building permits out of the U.S., along with some other data there. And then the consumer confidence number here in the U.S., the Richmond Manufacturing Index. So a lot of data Tuesday morning here in the U.S., although none of it's one of our big three. Then we've got trade balance out of New Zealand Tuesday evening at 4:45 p.m. Construction work done out of Australia. That sounds important. Switzerland's UBS consumption indicator at 2 a.m. Eastern Time Wednesday morning. We've got the second look at GDP out of the UK. We've got German 10-year bond auction, CBI realized sales, 6 a.m. Eastern Time out of the UK. Corporate profits out of Canada, and then the US again with a big run ahead of the holiday there. Durable goods, unemployment claims is a weekly number. Chicago PMI and the revised Michigan Sentiment data for the month. It's the last look for November. CB leading index, crude oil inventories, natty gas, all that packed into Wednesday because, of course, the market's closed on Thursday. Retail sales out of Japan that night, business confidence out of New Zealand, private capital expenditure out of Australia, and then Thursday, again, being a U.S. holiday, but we've got GDP out of Switzerland, we've got import prices out of Germany, CPI out of Germany, unemployment change out of Germany, money supply data out of Europe, retail PMI out of Europe, Spanish HPI, got a 30-year bond auction out of the UK. Again, there's that U.S. bank holiday. Current account and RMPI, IPPI out of Canada. Business consensus out of New Zealand that evening. Japan takes a dump of economic data and releases it while the U.S. is on holiday. Manufacturing PMI, household spending, Tokyo CPI, national CPI, unemployment rate, and preliminary industrial production. Consumer confidence out of the UK going into Friday. Housing starts out of Japan that night. German retail sales, French consumer spending, Italian unemployment rate, money supply M4 data from the UK, mortgage approvals from the UK, CPI and unemployment rate out of Europe at 5 a.m. Eastern time, with the stock market here in the US going into a half day that most people are not around. That's a cruel trick right there. And GDP out of Canada also on that Friday, and then manufacturing PMI out of China going into the weekend. So again, focal point for the week is that this is going to be mostly a holiday week. See if we can get something done here early. And again, with all that data out of Europe going into Friday, that makes it really worth taking a look at putting something in for our orders after we eat our turkey Thursday night. Hope everyone has a great and safe, happy Thanksgiving. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal 11. We will be trading it in the lab, at least for the first part of the week, as we usually do at Tradesight. Have a good week.